difficult. Oh. Everyone hear me now? I'm sorry. I turn it up. We're starting a little bit late, but that's only because we have some technical difficulties. So good evening. It's Thursday, May 17th, 6:35 or 6:34. We're calling the meeting to order. Welcome to the council meeting for the Village of Royal Palm Beach, and we'd like you to stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Diane, please let the record reflect that all members of council are here. And we also let the record reflect we have a room full of very happy and proud parents and other family relations here for their children. A lot of people have asked me when we open the meetings, why do I take the time to say what time it is and what day it is? It's for the official record that we're recording. So everything that happens here goes on the official record. Remember that. All right, so this evening we start out with something that we love doing every year. This is one of our favorite days of the year. And that's the presentation of $1,000 scholarship awards that will be awarded to students that have been selected by our Education Advisory Committee. So with that, Jeff, I'll turn it over to you, and I'll go out there and hand out the money.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm the council-appointed liaison for our Education Advisory Board, and one of the primary functions of our board, and it's also a great privilege and honor, is to select 10 recipients of $1,000 village scholarships each year. And so the board has done their duty, and they're about to report out, and the way they're going to report out is by reading the biographical sketches of each one of the winners into the record, as you heard the mayor comment a moment ago. And when you hear your name called, if you would stand and come to the center next to the mayor and listen to your biographical sketch read. And our sketches will be read by our individual board members. And stick around for the pictures, by all means. So the first graduating senior who's been selected for the scholarship award is Ethan Cabello.
Sorry, there we go. Ethan's not here tonight. I happen to know he's the valedictorian because we went to the went to the award ceremony and to the graduation. So anyway, he's attending the Pathfinders award ceremony tonight, so we can't avoid the conflict. Anyway, to read into for the record. Yeah, you know, Fred, you may have to ante up a little bit. Who's got deeper pockets? Ethan, I'm a senior from Royal Palm Beach High School, been a part of the Engineering Academy for all 4 years. He helped found the school's FIRST, that's an acronym, for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology, the robotic team, and will be graduating as a Royal Palm Beach valedictorian. He'll be attending the University of Florida in the summer to pursue a major in aerospace engineering. So.
So I guess we don't get to say accepting the award for, no, okay. We'll skip over that part. Okay. The next scholarship recipient is Lindsay Eisenstark.
So Lindsay, you come over here so I can talk a little bit about you, if you don't mind, Mayor. So I'm going to introduce, my name is Renata Espinoza. I'm one of the board members on the Education Advisory Board. So I'm proud to announce that Lindsay Eisenstark has been a resident of the village for 16 years and will be graduating from Royal Palm Beach High School in the top 5% of her class. She was a dedicated member of HOSA, which is OSHA, Future Health Professionals, Vice President of the National Honor Society, and President of the Best Buddies, a club which works to create friendship between students with and without disabilities. She will graduate with nearly 45 college credits. Oh my God, that's great. and is an ACE, and she's going to receive an ACE diploma from Cambridge University. In the fall, Lindsay will attend the University of Central Florida to study biomedical science. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Our next recipient is Matthew Emmerich.
Congratulations. I'm Dave Kendall, member of the board. Matthew Emmerich is a graduate of Royal Palm Beach High School STEM Academy. Throughout his 4 years as a Wildcat, he participated in multiple extracurricular clubs, including the National Honor Society, the Robotics Club as a founding member, and the Chess Club. He has held multiple leadership positions as a team leader at Chick-fil-A and a student ministry leader at Community of Hope Church. In the fall, he will attend the University of Central Florida, where he will major in mechanical engineering and minor in leadership. Following college, he aspires to work as a technical design specialist in a successful engineering company. Congratulations.
Okay, our next recipient is Madeline Gaugler.
Madeline Gouger graduated from Royal Palm Beach High School yesterday, ranking among the top 10 students in her graduating class. While in high school, Madeline earned 44 college credits through ACE, AP, and dual enrollment courses, and graduated with over 500 community service hours, mainly composed of many hours through her role as president of the National Honor Society, team captain of Relay for Life. In the fall, Madeline will be attending Florida Gulf Coast University, where she plans to double major in forensic studies and psychology. Whoa. Boy. Who's next? Eel. Okay. Pathfinder.
Our next scholarship recipient is Ala Hamed.
Oh, she is here. Oh, congratulations. I didn't see you come in. Ala Hamed. She has many awards that she received from Royal Palm Beach High School. She is a Pathfinder nominee tonight.
Yeah.
You're going to leave right away. She's Avid Academic Achievement Award, an Avid Gonafalonier, whatever that is. University of Alabama at Birmingham scholarship for $30,000. She belongs to the Avid Club, Future Educators of America, National Honor Society, and President's Circle. She will be attending the University of Alabama at Birmingham, majoring in special education. Congratulations.
Our next scholarship recipient is Miranda Hill.
Congratulations. Miranda Hill, she has graduated from Royal Palm Beach High School. She has graduated with an ACE diploma and is in the top 5% of her class and plans to continue her education at the University of Florida in the summer, where she is pursuing an aerospace engineering degree. Congratulations.
Our next scholarship goes to Tasha Joseph.
Tasha was born on January 28, 1999 in West Palm Beach, Florida, but she moved to Royal Palm Beach at the age of 8. She fell in love with the community. Good taste, obviously. She loves being with her friends and family because they bring joy to her heart. In the upcoming fall, she'll be attending Palm Beach State College to get her associate degree and transferring to Florida Atlantic University, where she'll be majoring in nursing. Thank you.
Our next scholarship goes to Amaya Marag.
Amaya is a senior at Royal Palm Beach High School and is currently serving as a student body vice president. She has played volleyball for the last 3 years at Royal Palm Beach and has been involved in various clubs on campus, such as Student Council, DECA, and Speech and Debate. Along with her involvement on campus, she also is dedicating much of her time to community service and has accumulated over 1,000 hours. She is a vocational completer in the Global Business Academy and has been dual enrolled for the past 2 years at Palm Beach State College. After high school, she'll be attending the University of Central Florida, where she will be dual majoring in criminal justice and public administration. She is excited to start her college career and plans to apply to law school after obtaining a dual bachelor's degree. Congratulations.
The next scholarship recipient is Dylan McGovern.
Dylan cannot make it tonight, and so I'm going to read a little bit about Dylan. Dylan has lived in Royal Palm Beach for 15 years. Although he was born in New York, the only memories he has are really from Royal Palm Beach. He's graduating from Suncoast High School and will be attending the University of Florida in the fall, and he plans to major in computer engineering and minoring in computer science. Congratulations, Dylan.
And our final scholarship goes to Zachary Vera.
Couple of points. My name is Lynn Balch. I introduced myself earlier, but this is a good time to point out that the scholarship is for village residents. Can go to any school. And it turns out Zach is from Seminole Ridge. We had a Suncoast finalist, I know too. So the key is you need to be a resident, and that's what makes you eligible. So if you have any other people coming in, remember. And I kidded Zach Rivera with those initials. He's always going to be last on any list, right? Anyway, Zach is a volleyball player, competition swimmer, biotechnician, barbershop quartet lead, and jazz pianist. He will be graduating in the top 5% at Seminole Ridge High School and will attend the University of Florida to study physics. So congratulations.
So, for the record, I'd like to say, first of all, thank you to the Education Advisory Board and to Jeff and all of the good work they did. This is a challenge for them to sit down because we have so many outstanding, intelligent, smart students that come before them. It's times like this that I look at the future of this country and I feel good about the future of this country with such fine young men and women moving on and moving further with their college education and matriculating and helping to keep this country moving forward. So congratulations to the parents, congratulations to all the students. Thank you tonight for coming. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take a 2-minute break, a little 2-minute recess. So if you want to leave, now would be the time to leave before we proceed with the rest of the meeting. So we got a 2-minute drill going. You can, if you want to depart now would be the time to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
Congratulations.
Where's Rob? Florida. Come on.
Had a background in art.
Did I tell you that already? You remind me of Helen Hunt? Did I tell you that? Helen Hunt, the actress.
Yeah, okay.
You remind me of her. Did I tell you that? Okay, we're going to proceed now with the rest of the meeting this evening. At this time, we're going to have reports, and I have a couple of reports to share. One of them is apparently this weekend we were scheduled to have our first annual seafood festival event in Commons Park, but the people putting on the event contacted us a day or so ago and indicated they'd like to move the date because of the inclement weather that's apparently coming our way again this weekend. So to do that, what I need to get is an agreement from council to approve the new date. They want to have it moved to June 2nd from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and June 3rd from 11 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's the same time frame they were going to do it originally, just a new date, June 2nd and June 3rd. Do we need a consensus or a vote?
We need a motion because we're modifying
All
the
right,
special
so I'm
event
looking for a
permit.
motion for the modification of the approval we initially gave.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please show that the new date was approved for the festival, the Seafood Festival, to June 2nd, June 3rd. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Today is the 17th, which is the third Thursday of the month, and that's when we usually have the Transportation Planning Agency meeting, and we did have one this morning. There were a myriad of things that were discussed, but I want to cover some highlights that I think are pertinent to us within the village. One of the things that happened was County Commissioner Hal Balashay is moved to become the chair of the board. That was necessitated because the previous chair was no longer able to serve in that role currently. And we also appointed a new vice chair, and the new vice chair is the mayor from Palm Beach Gardens. Where's my note? Maria Marino was elected as the new vice chair. So we took care of that little changeover this morning. They also shared with us an update about quiet zones. I know we've been hearing a lot in the news about the new Bright Line train that's moving 1,000 miles an hour up and down the tracks. And the discussion has been going on for really a long time about establishing quiet zones along that route. And apparently we're at the point where the quiet zones are in fact spinning up and going into place within the next few weeks. We were told that all of Palm Beach County would have the quiet zones in effect. The quiet zone means that there's additional protections put in place to keep people from crossing the tracks when the trains are coming. But it also means that the trains are not permitted to ring their horns when they're going through those zones. So, ergo, that's the term quiet zone, I guess. So that, just want to share that with you. That's something that's going to affect, obviously it won't affect our town directly, but if you're going to be a user of any of those services, the quiet zone effect applies to all service, not just the Bright Line, but the rail, the freight service, and any other train service that goes over those tracks. The quiet zone will be in effect for. No horns. The West Palm Beach reported, Ray, that they're moving forward with implementation of recommendations out of their mobility study. Did we ever get a chance to get a copy of that or get a chance to really review that?
We have not.
Is that something we can do since they seem to be moving forward with it?
Sure.
All right. And, well, speaking of mobility, there was a lot more discussion about that later on in the meeting, but I'll get to that. We've got an update on a corridor study for US 1, Route 1. And it was a study done by the transportation, the PalmTran. And actually it was presented, it was a joint project, I guess, between the TPA and PalmTran, but apparently they made some recommendations. One is to establish a new level of service. They're going to call it the PTX service, and they're looking to implement it in 3 phases. It'll start out over a 19-mile span, and I guess one of the key components is they're going to have new updated bus shelters where you can buy your ticket and through technology pay for your fare at the bus terminal, at the shelter. The shelters they're going to be putting in place. They're saying bus service along that corridor will be moved to show up every 10 minutes, and there will be express service provided. So the bottom line is there's a real effort on the way to improve the service up and down that corridor. They've got 2 more phases they'll be rolling out over the year, and once they've got the final phase in, that what they call PTX service will expand a 42-mile route all the way from Jupiter all the way down to the end of Boca Raton. The good news is that this is something that they've looked at, and there are other components that are going to go in place, improvements to the pedestrian areas, sidewalks, and access for pedestrians. But the good news is that they are now putting in place some of the work and analysis that they've been doing. What I don't consider as not good news is we need to have that kind of analysis done for the corridor that goes from west to east and east to west, because that affects us and our ability to get into downtown West Palm Beach and back on an improved bus service. So under that, I'll say to be continued, something that we're going to continue to certainly talk about, but at least they are making progress, and that is an important corridor, that north-south corridor on Route 1. And hopefully a lot of lessons will be learned with the project that they're looking to go forward with now. There was a presentation from the TPA staff, and this was an interesting presentation. There's been a conversation we've been having, and I've reported on it, I think, 3 or 4 times, something called a mobility plan. And people say, well, what's a mobility plan? Well, it's not a mobility plan, mobility fee. It's a step back in looking at the limitations we have in place right now for impact fees and the rules that govern what we could spend impact fee money on. As we expand the concept of looking at mobility, not just for cars alone, but other mobility options, it became apparent that the rules around governing how we spend those current funds would not adequately address some of the other things that we need to do going forward. So this conversation about establishing a mobility fee has been a continual process. Today, the TPA staff made some recommendations and an approach about moving forward with creating a mobility fee, but we got input from members, staff representing Palm Beach County, basically saying they're not so fast, they're not quite ready to move in that direction. We had a very robust discussion with the board on this issue. And there was a consensus that we need to pump the brakes on this and make sure that we are addressing all of the myriad of issues around this. Now, one of the recommendations that came out from staff was that if a new mobility fee was established by the county, cities would have the ability to opt out of that and create their own mobility fee structure. It appears that's perhaps is the path that West Palm Beach is going down now. That's why I wanted us to get a chance to look at what their report says, and because they are moving forward with that. But there are just a host of questions that are coming up around this whole issue, and I think we're a bit ways away from getting anything more specific on how we need to go forward. There was a discussion that the TPA should have a special workshop, and it looks like we will be scheduling a special workshop just to talk about this. And I would suspect all of the representatives from the cities will have information and knowledge about the plans that their city's looking to do and thinking about. So it may be something that we may have to have some conversation on as a council prior to that special meeting. I think that would be a good idea. So we'll see what continues with that. But it was a good discussion. One of the other interesting components to this whole road impact fee issue is where does the funding gets spent. And I think some people were enlightened today to find out not only are funds collected you may collect funds from one particular municipality, it doesn't mean that the funds to do road improvements are going to be done in that municipality, right? There's this concept that roads in general are used by people who go back and forth through different cities, and that's always been kind of the status quo. But that too is now called into question as to what input will local cities have in helping determine where those funds get spent or where those projects are put in place. So a lot of issues around this whole mobility fee issue, and like I said, we should talk about it in some length and get covered. You got a question?
What do they think the timing is on this?
Well, part of what they were recommending was for the county to put in a new mobility fee, which means getting rid of the current impact fee model. They'd have to put that on the November ballot to be voted on. And it's like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Forget about the fact that there are 1,000 things on the ballot, and the SOE has already disallowed certain things from going on the ballot. Right. It didn't make a lot of sense, and so the consensus was, let's pump the brakes on this, and let's make sure, if we're going to do this, go down this path, better we take our time and do it right than try to rush something that's really not going to be adequate. So. Also, an interesting update was on the Transportation Implementation Plan, the TIP. It's a rolling 5-year plan that we have at the TPA, where that's really the funnel where actual funding funnels through over a 5-year window, and actually funds get attached and allocated for specific projects. Well, here's the good news. The good news is State Road 7 has rotated off of this plan. The reason why that's good news is because it's beyond that planning phase. It's actually at the point where they're spending money now to actually do the project. So it's in what they call, it moved out of this phase, it's what they call the construction phase. And I certainly looked upon that as good news. So hopefully we'll continue to move forward with that, and we don't have any more obstacles in the way of that project. So with that, I think we'll start with you tonight, Jan.
Oh, Okay. Good evening, everybody. Couple of things. Want to congratulate CAFSI on another wonderful Diversity Day in our partnership with Parks and Rec. The weather held out, didn't rain. I know that scared a few people away, but it was a wonderful event and the entertainers were great.
Yeah, they even made some of us dance. We won't go into that, though, right?
And then just a reminder about the Citizen Summit on May 21st at the Recreation
I knew one of you
Center
would bring that up. That's why I didn't say anything. That's good.
7 p.m.
from 7 to 9. We hope you all are going to come out and provide your input to our planning process. And that's it. So I'm finished. That's all I got.
Jeff.
Good evening. So you saw the results of one of the primary functions of the Education Advisory Board, which is probably one of the most enjoyable functions, and that was a scholarship selection. In addition to that, we did have our regular monthly meeting. It turns out this is the last one for the school year that we had this past Monday, at which meeting we said farewell to Kevin Abel, who we did present a certificate of appreciation to. He spent about 2 years on the board and was the chairman for the last year. We were very fortunate to have Kevin join the board. He was, because one of the reasons he's not on the board anymore is he's moving out of town, out of county, out of state. He was the dean of students. Out of state. He was the dean of students at Palm Beach Atlantic University. He's taken a new job as vice president for student affairs for Spring Hill College in Mississippi. And so obviously that's an opportunity that he just couldn't pass up. So we thanked him very much for all the hard work he did. He certainly brought some amazing educational credentials, but he also brought a sensitive but strong leadership to the board, which was greatly appreciated. And so we now have 2 vacancies to fill. So just to make sure that everybody is aware that we are looking for residents of Royal Palm Beach to volunteer for those positions. In fact, what we're hoping to do is to actually be able to bring individuals who are involved with our schools, Royal Palm Beach schools, who are probably parents, maybe involved with PTOs, PTAs, SACs, volunteering to coach or whatever, because we think that perspective is really valuable. That kind of real-world insight into what the schools are, into what's going on in the schools, and it would put the board, I think, in a very good position to be able to engage with the schools, as we do every month, but also engage with the school board and the school district. So hopefully, if you have an interest, go online. You can find the application online, and please apply. We also gave out an award to Laura Sanchez, who was our student member. Every year we have, actually it usually turns out to be the student council president, as Laura was this year. And they sit on the board every meeting, and they give us a student perspective on what's going on at Royal Palm Beach High School, which very much appreciated. She did a great job, and we gave her the Student Leadership Award this year. The rest of the agenda was not quite as advertised. Unfortunately, Andrew Watt, who is a Palm Beach County School District Legislative Liaison, was not able to attend due to illness. But there was no shortage of questions that were being posed about a number of things that are going on right now within the school district by board members to our school board representative and also to the school district. Questions about the funding, the additional funding that was granted by the state for school security matters, including in particular the 75 additional school police that will be brought to our schools here in Palm Beach County, as well as some additional school counselors, and also the hardening of our schools. There's a lot of money that is being made available to do these things. Obviously, the school district is moving prudently but swiftly to address these the issues, as well as use the funds in the most appropriate way. But one of the comments that was made, which I thought was very interesting, is so the state grants this additional money as a one-time expense for the state, which puts then the school districts in the position of having to come up with money for any recurring costs that are associated with that. So it hopefully won't turn out that way, but the track record's not really good for getting the kind of education funding that we need from the state. And so the school board, our school board member, Marcia Andrews, and others reminded us that that was good news this year, but perhaps in the future is going to create a real budget challenge for the school board. And the last piece of information that the Education Advisory Board received was, again, a kind of a mix of good news and bad news. The principal of Cypress Trails Elementary School, Sherry Bremenkamp, who's been there for a number of years and done some outstanding things with the STEM program and a number of other initiatives over there, is basically being given an opportunity to be the principal of one of the county's startup K-8 program or schools. So, as you know, our schools are generally K-5 and then 6 through 8, middle school. And the county is now looking at a different model, which is K-8 at one school. And there are a lot of advantages to it. But the important thing is that they're doing it in a pilot program, and she's getting the opportunity to be the principal of one of those schools. Well, that means that now we seem to be having a lot of vacancies this year. Now we have a vacancy over at Cypress Trails. So there is a selection process that will be starting up very shortly. So at the beginning of the next school year, we'll have a new principal over there. And the one last thing that was mentioned was that the region, which is a central region for the school district, has a new program to recognize teachers who are doing outstanding work in particular, and is referred to as high-impact teachers. And so each one of those was recognized at the meeting, and it's something that, again, kind of takes the place, maybe not enough, of the teacher salary issue, which is another budget challenge, unfortunately, that all of the schools in Florida are faced with. I don't know whether you know it or not, but of course the school district is very quick to point out that we're 47th in teacher salaries in the nation in Florida. So I'll leave you with that thought. That concludes my report.
Thanks for that. No, okay. You done?
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you.
Richard.
No reports, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening. I had the pleasure of representing the village over at the CAFSI Annual Assistance Awards Ceremony. So they gave out 20 scholarships to young adults. And I attended the Royal Palm Beach High School graduation with several of the other council members here. So like the ladies and gentlemen that were out here this evening, they're a very impressive group, and it's amazing just the amount of community service hours that they do while they're taking not only classes to graduate from high school, but also credits in college as well. So some of them actually graduated with an AA degree when they get their high school diploma as well, which is very impressive. Our Royal Palm Beach Seniors Helping Seniors have changed the hours at their help desk over at the rec center. So they're doing it from Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 3. So those are the times that they're out there. And also don't forget that we also have our senior activities calendar that's out there as well. So every month there's always something, each month there's a calendar out there for our seniors, as well as something to do every day of the month. And then, yeah, thank you very much, Councilwoman Radusky, for bringing up the Citizen Summit. So it is open to the public, so please come in. There's always coffee and cookies for everybody. Thanks.
Okay. Ray.
Yes, I'd like to introduce Elliot Cohen. He's our new communication consultant that is going to help us get more proficient online and with our communication with the public. He's already helped us with straightening out our online presence and identifying some improvements that we can do there with the naming of some of our Twitter, Facebook page, and things like that. We've just got started on getting our webpage updated, and we're working on a draft e-newsletter that will be going out on a regular basis. So I'd like to introduce Elliot Cohen. Come on up. And he'll be working with us, like I said, and working with all the staff and improving our communication. I wanted to introduce him to the council and let people see him and let him have a few words to say hello and introduce himself.
All right.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council, good evening. I am here. Figure the communication guy would know how to do that.
I start.
That's right. There goes that.
Gotta get better.
I am here because the five of you have set as one of your strategic priorities, communicating and with the public and transparency. And so, what I'm hoping to do, working with the village, is to come up with new ways for the people to know the work that you are doing and to know the good things that are happening in the village. That's the goal. And the fact that you've set it as a important priority as far as letting people know what's going on, I hope to fulfill it. And Ray has my cell number. Everybody has my cell number. I'm always available. And I'm here to basically working on behalf of all of you to let people know what you're doing.
Well, welcome on board. We look
Great.
forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Jennifer.
No report, thank you.
Okay. That concludes our reports this evening. Right now, if there's anyone who has a petition to present to the council, now would be the time to do that. Seeing no petitions coming forward, then I will close acceptance of petitions. If there's anyone here who would like to make a statement or comment that is on an item not on the agenda, or anyone who wants to make a comment on an item on the consent agenda. I have not been given any cards, but if there's anyone here, now would be the time. Okay, come on down.
Good evening. On the middle. Here? Oh, there we go. It's lit. Okay, I think you can hear me. Good evening. Thank you so much. I am a candidate for Circuit Court Judge. My name is Sarah Willis, and I am here to introduce myself to you. I'm running for Group 25. The election is on August the 28th. It is a county-wide election, so the entire county votes on it, and it is a nonpartisan race. And I will not take a lot of your time. I'll just let you know. I started my career at the state attorney's office. I became a special victims unit prosecutor. I worked for the attorney general doing complex criminal cases. I have been a presiding magistrate here, appointed by the chief judge for the 15th Circuit for the past 3.5 years. I did resign from that position to qualify and run as a judicial candidate in this upcoming election. So you can learn more about me at electsarahwillis.com, and I thank you very much for the chance to introduce myself. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck. If there's no one else who would like to come up at this time, items not on the agenda or consent agenda items? Therefore, I'm going to close public comment to non-agenda items and consent agenda items. And with that, Diane, can you give us the consent agenda?
Yes.